Hello and welcome to Pirate Pundit. My name's Dan Ball and I'm going to be taking a look ahead to tomorrow night's match or tonight's match, depending on when you're watching this, against QPR. But first of all, I'm going to take a look back on the disappointing defeat that we had to Southend on Saturday. Now, where did it all go wrong on Saturday? Pretty much everywhere. There was very few positives to take from the match, if any. The players lacked confidence and belief, which is it's not what we're used to seeing from a Darryl Clark side, and he openly admitted that there was that it's not what he's used to seeing. That's not what he demands from his players usually, and it was a frustrating day all round, especially because we had such a good performance against Portsmouth, albeit we lost in the week, but we had such a good performance, and I personally felt that if we had replicated that performance, that we would have got a positive result from the Southend game. But it was the complete opposite. Like I say, there was nothing there. And let's start with the defence. Let's have a look at the defence first. Now, obviously, Lockyer had an injury, so he missed out. He was due to be starting the game, but missed out late on, which meant Dan Ledbetter came in at right back. James Clark moved into the centre-back position alongside Tommy Broadbent and Tony Craig at left-back. It just seems to be unbalanced at the minute, the defence. There seems to be problems at the minute, and I'm not sure why that is. We've got this new defensive coach in, and at the minute he's not doing the job, is he? A lot of people were calling for Steve Yates to come back, and we've been doing that since he's left, but I don't think that's the answer, and I'm sure that this defensive coach that's come in it's just taking time to bed in his mentality of things and his way of thinking. But at the minute we're suffering, and there's a massive imbalance in the defence at the minute, and I personally think that's down to the left back position, and with Tony Craig playing at left back, I'm baffled by this, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people said he played well at Wycombe when we won. But he's not a left back. He does all right defensively, but going forward he doesn't offer anything. And in the modern day, as a fullback, you've got to be able to contribute going forward. And it either breaks down with him, or he puts a bog standard cross into the box, and their defence clears easily. It's so frustrating, especially when you've got a young kid in Michael Kelly sat on the bench that we've all seen that he's a good player. He's a young player, but he's a good player, and if he isn't playing now, he must be thinking, what do I have to do to get a chance to play? The left back in Tariq Holmes-Dennis that we brought in is obviously injured, and I would imagine he would be our first choice when he becomes fit. But Michael Kelly, for me, I thought he was going to be second choice this season, and it would have been a good second choice. And now's the time when you need to be playing him. You can play him at left back. All right, he's going to make mistakes. Of course he will. But as fans, we will accept that, because it's good to see young players coming through and getting their opportunity. So we will accept the fact that he's going to make a few mistakes, but he will offer more than what Tony Craig's offering at left back at the minute. And you can move Tony Craig then into the centre back position alongside the likes of Lockyer or James Clark, whoever you're going to want to play alongside him. And you've got Tony Craig then talking to this youngster, coaching him through the game, and that's only going to benefit him, surely. So that's a frustrating point for me. And all right, defensively, it wasn't a terrible game on the weekend, because I don't think Southend offered much attacking wise to trouble us, but you can still see that there's no confidence there. Moving into the midfield, you had Upson and Ollie Clark in the midfield. Again, very frustrating games from them. I'm yet to see a good game from Upson. I believe he played well at Wycombe, but personally I'm yet to see what he's all about. I'm not sure what he offers this team at the minute. The difference from last year. I think Chris Lyons is a much better player than Upson, but that's just my personal opinion. Ollie Clark, I love Ollie Clark. I think he's a great player, but he's very hot and cold. You either get a good game out of him or a bad game. And unfortunately, Saturday he had a bad game on Saturday. His passes were going astray, and yeah, he didn't offer much. You had Liam Sercombe again out on the wing, which frustrates us as fans. But I can see why he's keeping him in the squad. He's got a lot of midfielders that he's got to accommodate, and I can see why he's keeping Sercombe in the squad, because we lost that creativity when he came off injured. Rodman came on in his place and didn't offer that much, to be honest with you. Bennett had a quiet game on the other wing, which is not what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing a bit of creativity from him. He can make things happen, so the fact that he had a bad game, well, the strikers were feeding off of scraps, really, weren't they? It was you found the defence that were bypassing the midfield a lot of the time, because the midfield were having a bad game. The defence were just hoofing it up to Payne and Nichols, and they were clearly frustrated. And I think that was harsh on them. Obviously they didn't have a good game, but I didn't think they had much service to them. And then when Jakubiak and Riley came on, they didn't have very good games either. So it was a bad day all round, and it's one that we need to quickly put behind us. Obviously, we're all disappointed that I've just seen Darryl Clark's interview today, and he's clearly still disappointed. But he's right. We need to move on. We need to try and put things right. And the game against QPR in the next round of the Cup is a great opportunity to do that, albeit it's going to be a difficult one. And the QPR just won their first game of the season as well on Saturday, so they're going to be well up for it. They've got two good players that they just signed in Tomer Hemed and Naki Wells, who I believe had good games on the Saturday against Wigan. Tomer Hemed got his debut goal, so he's going to be firing. And if these two players play and they play near enough their first team, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. But on the flip side of that, it's a good opportunity for Rovers to get the fans back on side. If we go to QPR and we play well and get a good result, and possibly even win the game, Saturday's match will be quickly forgotten. So it's a great opportunity for us to right the wrongs, so to speak, and get back to winning ways. Obviously QPR, we've got a few close connections with QPR through Ian Holloway, who I'm actually going to be listening to on tomorrow night, because I'm not going to be able to make the game, but I believe he's on TalkSport covering the game, so I'm going to be listening to that, so it'd be good to see what he says. Two clubs that are close to his heart, I believe. Joe Lumley played in goal for QPR on the weekend, so it's a possibility that he might play again on Tuesday night. Obviously a keeper that we could probably do with at the minute. Unfortunately, I think Josh said in the pre-match it would be nice to see Joe Lumley come back. I don't think that's going to happen if he's playing for QPR in the Championship. He kept a clean sheet on the weekend and had a good performance, so it'd be nice to see him again. But in the last round of the Cup, QPR beat Peterborough, who are top of the league at the minute in our league, who are flying. So it's going to be a tough game. Before the weekend, I was quite hopeful. I was looking at QPR. They had a bad result, bad run of games. They hadn't won in the league this season, and I was thinking, yeah, it's a good opportunity to play then. It's a good opportunity to move forward in the Cup. We were playing well at the time, coming off the back of the result against Portsmouth. But isn't it funny how quickly things can change in football? Because now we're looking at it, it's a tough game. We're low on confidence, but hey, that's football, and that's why we love the game. We love it for the highs and the lows. But again, it's a good opportunity, and I'm hopeful. And I trust Darryl Clark. I still trust him. There's a lot of people booing and questioning him on Saturday, and rightly so, because it was a bad performance. But I still put all my trust in him, and I think he's the right man for the job still. I did say in post-match it feels like he's hit a bit of a brick wall, but I'm sure he'll come through that. I'm sure that the club will come through that and the team, and they'll only come through it with the help of us as fans supporting them. So hopefully Tuesday night, tomorrow night, we can get back to winning ways and have a good result against QPR. Josh is going to be there. I'm not sure if he's going to be doing Pirate Pundit on his own or whether he's going to get another fan, but he'll be there, so keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye on Pirate Pundit, and we'll be there doing the pre-match and post-match interviews. But until then, thanks for watching, and up the gas. Cheers.